आ गया. वेरी नाइस. गुड इवनिंग गाइस. यहाँ पे एक्चुअली मुझे ना कमेंट्स का भी एक सेक्शन है, सो आई कैन जस्ट रिप्लाई टू देयर कमेंट्स.
सुनील सर, अभी
हाँ
आपका वीडियो रिलीज हो गया है, राइट?
हाँ या वीडियो रिलीज हो गया मेरा. यस, लाइव आया है क्या?
हाँ, लाइव उसके साइड बाय साइड आ रहा है।
हाँ लाइव मुझे दिख रहा है. यस, लाइव इज गोइंग ऑन. यस
एक मिनट.
या वीडियो इज डिफरेंट एंड आई एम लाइव.
ओके.
यू आर एबल टू सी मी? या लाइव तो चल रहा है. यस, पीपल आर
राइट.
ज्वाइनिंग. दे आर सेइंग गुड इवनिंग. गुड इवनिंग गाइस. गुड इवनिंग.
यस, लाइव इज ऑन.
Yeah, live is on. All
लाइव
good.
इज ऑन.
Yes. So now we proceed with our live. दोस्तों autonomous ships, sorry, this live is going to be English because same topic, autonomous ships, are they going to take our jobs away, is already released on my YouTube right now at 5 p.m. So all guys interested in Hindi language can go ahead and watch that. And for English language we are doing this live session, and I have a special guest with me जो कि who will be joining me very soon. So first of all, what is this autonomous ships? What is this going on? Why people are so worried about this कि they will take our jobs away? So let me clarify to those who don't know what is autonomous ships. Autonomous ships are the ships which have been designed in such a way to run unmanned, without any manpower. Automatic means these ships will be controlled from shore, land side, and they will be operated via some AI, artificial intelligence. So let me take my guest, special guest, in, and then we'll talk further. So dosto, right now on my right side I can see Karanveer Nair. Needs no introduction. Hashtag KTS group ke very young and dynamic third officer is here, who agreed to join me for this live. And let me tell you that this is an experimental live. We haven't done this ever before. We are doing it first time, and if it works, you guys will probably see more lives like this on Karan's YouTube and my YouTube, and
Yes.
whenever Captain Sins launches his YouTube. Karan, welcome.
Thank you, Captain Sunil.
Yeah.
So, Captain Sunil, I think there is a bit of delay which I can see, but I think that is how the YouTube works.
Yes, absolutely. You and me are talking absolutely normal, and the thing what
Yeah.
is being going on my YouTube channel has a lag for 3-4 seconds. But what we are
Yes.
talking, I don't think there is any lag. So, guys, before starting my, let's go ahead and play the intro. Yeah, so I'm going to start now. First topic, rules and regulations. So these unmanned ships are not going to be in picture soon, because for simple reason, the rules and regulations to come into force requires lot of time, lot of ratification from different countries, and different countries will have their own set of rules and regulations which will be required to run these unmanned ships. Karan.
100% agreed, sir. I was reading that IMO has already started the procedure for this autonomous ship, something known as MASS, MAS.
Yeah.
So, Wikipedia, pe, if you go and search the autonomous general cargo ship, so like I said, MASS, there are certain circulars, MSC circulars, which Maritime Safety Committee circulars, which are already in place. But as per many big ship owners, or like Maersk itself, they themselves are saying that within their lifetime, which is like 40-50 years from now, it is still not possible because there are many side effects in it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what your video says right now, but there are 4 degrees of autonomous ships, if I am correct, right, Sunil sir?
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, rules and regulation are not going to be in force to get these unmanned ships running. And even if they run, it will be first, coastal. And whatever trial and things have been done is a coastal, because in a coastal ship, rules and regulation of only one country will be applicable where they are sailing. Whereas for the ships like Karan is sailing, I am sailing, we are going to foreign different countries and different waters. We need regulations for all those countries. Moving on. Next, Karan will be very happy to tell you how much maintenance is done on life-saving appliances and firefighting appliances. So, if we run these unmanned ships, I am sure IMO and other regulations won't allow you to sail even if it is unmanned without these firefighting equipments and life-saving equipments. So, how much maintenance work do you do, Karan, on your life-saving?
Like yes, very well said, Captain Sunil, that as a third officer you have like LSA and FFA within your maintenance hand. And if you see on the PMS of the various companies, every day you have to do certain maintenance, and this is just bare minimum equipment. We don't even require that much maintenance, but still they need to be checked. For example, fire extinguishers, they have a pressure gauge. So if the pressure drops below that certain green zone, then definitely you need to recharge. And like the ship which I was on, Emma Musk, it had like 300 plus extinguishers.
Yeah.
Now the first question which comes into my mind is, suppose there's a fire on the ship, and you have seen recent events like Express Pearl. There was this huge DG fire. So of course, dangerous cargo will be carried regardless, because that transportation cannot stop. So who, like the water spray system, everything is there, but the large scale property like a 400-meter ship, it is a enormous task to even extinguish such kind of fire by tugs which have powerful fire hydrants and all the fire control, whatever there is. So I think maintenance part or basic equipment is also so important that there can be definitely technology which does not require like self-maintained extinguishers or self-maintained foam applicators, but still it is a long way, because maritime industry already is 10-20 years behind technology, as you must know from the bridge equipment we can see, right, Captain Sunil?
Yeah, absolutely. And this autonomous cars, you would have heard Tesla is coming up with regulations. These cars are running on shore, they are not exposed to severe weather, and they have support available all the time, and they are running in one country. Even that hasn't come in place, they are not running like that everywhere. So forget about ships running that way. And maintenance part, yes, some guys will say that okay, we will not do maintenance, we'll do that in port. When the ship go to port, some people will board the ship, take the ship alongside, dock it, and then we'll do it in port. So my friend, the main thing in port is the time. So, see, in merchant navy, time is money may be true for everything else, but it's absolutely true for merchant navy, because Karan knows how much time log we have to maintain in the port, because port jetty charges, tugs charges, pilotage charges, all those are on you. So we want to save even single minute is accounted for. So if we do this all this maintenance in port, then obviously the port call will increasing the cost. And I'm sure
Yes, also,
yeah,
Sunil sir, like to dock a 400-meter ship is not an easy task,
yeah.
because the ship size is increasing day by day, and to get it into a certain approach, also like you see VLCC, ultra large container ships, they cannot go to every port. So maintenance for these big ships, because the size is increasing,
Yeah.
so naturally they want to carry more cargo, more tonnage, more freight. So I think that again is one of the biggest challenges which I see, because maintenance, as you know,
Yeah.
especially for the machinery side, like few ships have two engines. Like on Maersk, there is something on a triple E. Now two engines are there that requires even more maintenance. Okay, you have one standby, but at the same time, many of the ships, like most of the ships, are only single engine.
Yeah.
I think in your company, Sunil sir, there are only single engine ships,
Single
right?
engine, yes. Okay, moving on. My next point is cargo operations. Now, many will argue that okay, out at sea, unmanned ship will be brought close to the port, and then the pilot and the crew will board the ship, and they will carry out the cargo operation. So, imagine, my friends, these ships require familiarization. These ships are trading in international waters. You are going to have one set of people to do cargo operations, but you can't get familiar with all so many different type of ships and their operations so fast. Okay, even if you do that, you learn these cargo operations. It's not just that cargo be discharged and load. Imagine on a current ship, he's loading a lot of reefer containers. Now something goes wrong with that reefer for few hours and your cargo is gone. Claims are so high. I am working on a tanker. When we discharge, we do tank cleaning. These tank cleanings are not allowed to be done in port. We are doing this out at sea, and sometimes it takes 3 days, sometimes it takes 5 days, 6 days, depending upon what you are loading. So all these things are done out at sea. Same goes for cargo ships loading iron ore and coal. All these cleanings etc. is done out at sea in a peaceful environment. All this, if you start doing it in port, obviously the port call will increasing the cost. Karan.
Definitely, Sunil sir, like you said, tank cleaning. Okay, we have like cow systems which can run automatically if the technology progresses. But
Yeah.
like you said, refills. Definitely, we require someone to come and connect it to the power sockets of the ship. But okay, technology, like I said, is 20 years behind in the maritime industry. So 20 years to first reach that kind of technology into this big ships. Ships generally have very less technology as compared to aircraft, which
Yeah.
I have seen. So manual labor is still required, especially on the connection part, cleaning part, and yeah, it can happen definitely. I'm not saying it cannot happen. It can definitely happen, like in the port of Rotterdam. If you go to Netherlands, all the containers over there are picked up and discharged from autonomous vehicles. They don't have drivers,
Yeah.
but still we require the seafarers on board to connect, like you said, reefers, check the DG positions, tally all the cargo and check for the cargo operations. Which, okay, at port you can go and check, but at sea operations, how to check the reefers? We have some what do you call, chip inside the reefers which can give you feedback. But again, good internet is one of the biggest problems at sea.
Yeah, and next one is cost of ships and salary to crew. Imagine these kind of logistics required in port, these kind of technology is required, artificial intelligence is required, hardware is required, software is required. It's gonna cost money, and the kind of cost is gonna go so high that our salary, crew salary is nothing in front of that. Everything comes down to the cost. No owner will like to put in so much of a cost when he can easily get cheap labor. You can say cheap labor even for us as a sailor, although we are highly paid, because the compared to the price and the profit margins and the cost of the ship, all these things, so it is not coming any near future, for the simple reason the technology exists, drones are there, small crafts are there, but to make it on such a large scale and make it cost effective, we don't see it in next 40-50 years also. Karan.
100% agreed, sir. Like you said, it's all about money. That is why the number of crew on board has been reduced significantly. From your time as a captain, there must be 35, 40 people on board. And
Yeah.
now it is on the biggest ships in the world, just 25, 26. So, still, they said 20% of the transit money is paid to the seafarers. But I really don't know if that is true or not. This is as per the Google research I did. So, yeah, cost reduction definitely if they become autonomous. But like you said, if something breaks down, then these hands can save a lot of money rather than the ship being stuck at sea, and then you require some tug or tow from, like the salvage operations cost so much, like
Yeah.
the entire company can go bankrupt if the salvage operation has to take place. So definitely money is one of the biggest challenges, and as you know, companies in the world are conjuice, like you say
Yeah,
in the Hindi word.
absolutely.
They don't care about the crew or like the wages, everything. Like the wages have been reduced. It's still being reduced day in and day out. So yeah, I would say money will be one of the biggest issues for the
Yeah.
big companies and the small ones.
Yeah. My next topic is congested water navigation. This AI operating, you may have some operators sitting ashore operating 10 ships, 20 ships, and navigating in open sea where you have sufficient waters. But what about congested waters? They may tune them, they may program them to follow ROR. If you have, ship coming from here, this direction, okay, alter this side. But let me tell you that practically at sea, not all ships are following these rules of the road. So, are you going to do about that? And imagine the fishing traffic. Sometimes these boats are so small, it is not even picked up on the optimally tuned radar, and these boats suddenly alter courses, and even we being on board right there, we have to leave it to our best judgment to navigate safely in those waters. So how AI is going to do, what he's going to do about that, we really don't have any answers as of now, and I don't think it's coming near future. Karan.
So, Captain Sunil, what I think is okay if we have an autonomous big cargo ship, but what about the fishing vessels? Suppose in
Yeah,
China,
yeah.
where the rules of the road, the cold regs, are not applied like at all. You have to navigate your vessel only on the basis of situation. Now, if you've seen in the East China Sea where there are thousands of fishing boats right ahead with AIS fishing nets all around. Now
Yeah,
that is also a radar conspicuous object at times. So
yeah,
if the sensor suppose picks up like this multiple thousands of fishing nets, then you have absolutely nowhere to go to avoid it. You sometimes have to navigate really close to the fishing net. So I believe the biggest problem will be in Strait of Malacca,
yeah.
Suez Canal, and the China Taiwan Strait for sure. Like no chance of any sensor,
Yeah,
like any sensor able to follow any cold regs, and regardless, because we ourselves know that the cold regs are not being followed at in the China, especially in the Chinese water. So
right.
AI is good, but human. Oh, we have Captain Sins as well here.
Yes.
That's nice.
So before moving on to next topic, let me welcome Captain Sins, Captain underscore Sins. He's also going to start his YouTube channel soon. Right now, he's on Instagram and making a lot of amazing contents. So I have been pushing all the questions to Karan, but I think this one I will push to him. Captain Sins, first confirm, are you able to hear us properly?
Yes, loud and clear, sir. Thank you for inviting me on this live. Absolute pleasure. Hi, Karan.
Hi. Okay, so my next question, insurance payment complexity. Insurance, you have seen in the ever given case, they hold master responsible. Master is jailed if any accident and incident happen. Now with these unmanned ships, when there are nobody, who are they going to blame? They are going to blame the technology, the hardware, software, all the operator sitting ashore. So we will have Captain Sin's view. What will the insurance be like? How will they hold and pay payments and extra things will be done on these unmanned ships? Captain Sins.
Well, I think you can take an example of aviation industry, how it functions. In case
Yeah.
of a technological failure or in case of a crash, they go back to the manufacturer, and it is the onus of manufacturer who's delivering that technology. So, like if Rolls-Royce has delivered the engines and the crash happened because of the engine failure, so it is the overall responsibility goes to the owner of the airlines. But at the same time, like the manufacturer himself or they themselves are also involved in making sure and proving it to the court of law that it is not because of some technical failure or glitch. It was a human error. That's why most of the cases you would see that the 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 investigators, they will try to see if they can easily find a human error, not to blame the investigations, but they will try and see if there is some involvement of human errors. That said, if there are automated ships, then again it is pretty much the same case. The owners and the manufacturers, they will take the lead, and I think all said and done, there will still be one guy on board to overall troubleshoot or something. So I think master and maybe a chief engineer is not something which they will even get rid of, even if there is complete automation. But
Yeah.
like we can see drones, if we go to those technology, we must also keep in mind that there are different kind of owners who cannot afford total manning as per the certificates. So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
only for niche owners. But yeah, insurance claim will be a tedious case, and most of the liability will be shared by owners and the manufacturer of that technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And now my next is, some Japanese owners still prefer, to have this fourth engineer, and they are still making manned machinery spaceships because they are still, relying on human. On one side, we are talking about unmanned ships. On this side, we have very good owners who are not even willing to spend for UMS, that is unmanned machinery spaces, because the cost of
Yeah.
making a UMS ship and a manned ship manned machinery spaces is completely different, and obviously the cost is higher. So they have calculated that paying for the extra fourth engineer makes more sense. So definitely this technology is not coming in near future, guys. So my suggestion to you is that you can peacefully join. Don't base your joining merchant navy joining decision at all on this thing, that autonomous ships will take away our job. So they are not going to take away our job in near future, at least in our lifetime. It's not happening. First it will start happening in the cars on the road, it will come to aviation industry, then it will come to small tugs and boats in the trading in coastal area, and I still don't see it coming on the large ships, large ships going, ocean going
Yeah.
ships. I don't see it coming ever. Captain Sins, your views,
Yeah.
and then we'll have Karan's view.
I think I think aviation, the shipping industry is highly resistant to any changes, especially technological changes, for the simple reason of, like, too many parties involved, too many adventures. I mean, too many interests involved, the commercial interest basically, and everything which they can save because it's a commodity business, so they try to curtail all the costs. Till date, we are not very comfortable with the presence of ECDIS. We are saying you cannot rely on GPS. We do not have any other means of more reliable position fixing. We want to be like on the old way of taking bearings and all. An aircraft can land on a dead center line with using this technology. And somehow on ships, we don't have this technology available. Their autopilots are advanced enough to land an aircraft maneuvering at Mach speeds. So that said, I cannot see any reasons that the shipping industry is going to be comfortable with such a huge change where the entire automation is taken away. We are not comfortable with any automation, any remote which is given to us with which we can operate a crane. We don't want that crane to be used with that remote. So I will completely agree with your view that automation is, I mean, like if it is introduced in the cars, you can add 10 more years before it is introduced to ships. Prototypes are different, but I don't think so. I don't see at all any reason why ship owners are going to invest and go so extensively after automation when there is so many legality involved, conventions, regulations, bringing all the flags together. I don't see that
Yeah.
happening at
And
all.
okay,
And Sony, just one more thing I would like to add. Something as basic as MLC took 7-8 years,
yeah,
to and
absolutely.
ratified by all the flags. Imagine you have an automated ship which has to be ratified by all countries. No.
Right. So now we'll move to Karan and I will ask him the next question. Seafarers are already doing a great job. What happened to, yeah. Seafarers are already doing a great job. They are not very expensive. It might sound to people from outside that they are being paid heavily, but you have no idea of the amount of profit the ships make. And compared to that, our salary is just peanuts. And of course agreed that we do accident and incidents once in a while. Seafarers do that, human error occurs, but what is the guarantee that this AI will not do? First we had these drones and all that, they also met accident. The technology was not foolproof, and in our case we can't do trial and error. You can't do a trial and error on a tanker, you can't do trial and error on a big container ship. It has to be the foolproof technology before it comes in picture. So Karan, my question to you is, why fix it when it is not broken, when seafarers are already doing and earning such a peanut salary? So do you think, is there any need or demand of unmanned ships?
So very well put by you and Captain Tarun sir also. Like first of all, the regulation part. The regulations demand so much as it is, and I cannot understand the fathom at which the regulations will be required after one becomes totally autonomous. So first is definitely the regulations, and if ships are not following code regs, then what is the whole purpose of us learning and navigating safely? So that is one of the biggest thing. And like you said, we have to even comply with solas at all times. So yeah, I definitely see, like also if you say the money part, like we already earn significantly less in the coming era due to the inflation and even after the 2008 recession.
Yeah,
So yeah, like you said, why fix it, right, when it's
yeah,
broken?
when it's not broken.
That was
Yeah,
it's
when
not
it's
broken.
not, yeah.
Right. So definitely, I don't see a point here, but yeah, world has to go on. Elon Musk, as you know, is doing wonders, taking us to the moon, like he says. So cars will take 10 years. That's what they say. So then will come to aviation. Then it might come to shipping, because shipping is always at the end, always.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest reasons, which boils my point, that we need to make that awareness to the normal audience, the general public, because everybody knows aviation, but 90% of the cargo, like we keep saying, is actually being carried out, being transported by ships. So general public definitely needs to know about that. And yeah, it will happen, Captain Sunil. Autonomous things will definitely happen, but not, like, I have no expert opinions, but
Yeah.
I do not see it happen in the next 50, 60 years at least, like
Yeah.
Captain Sins also pointed out correctly.
Yes, my last question to Captain Sins is, I am unable to unmute him. One second. Yeah. So my last question to Captain Sins is training, because he's already working in shore. So how do you think they are going to train these operators sitting ashore with no navigation experience about navigation? Any idea, Captain Sins?
Uh, I see people struggling with something as basic as near misses
Yeah.
being documented correctly. Not even ashore, even when I was on board. You can't train seafarers, I think, beyond a scope of point because of the educational background also. That said, you will require experts to handle these kind of things, and of course, I mean, like masters, I mean, like on present curriculum, I mean, like you will require huge amount of changes in the curriculum. We are still stuck on the sextant. We are not able to get rid of that. Now, imagine you have to introduce a full automation course, in which, of course, you can put in the pilots, the masters, and you can start training. It's going to be a different model altogether. The entire hierarchy has to be reestablished. And just like you have in drone technology, that there are experts who are just experts in handling the drone, and then there are experts who takes care of the technology. Then there is a team which takes care of the communication. There is a team which takes care of the connectivity. So it's the model is going to be like it's going to be a complete revamp of the model. Extensive amount of money will be involved. But yes, in future we cannot overrule the presence of automation, but the complete system has to be restructured. The complete curriculum will be restructured, and on that basis, yes, the seafarers will still be involved, but in very different way. You as a master will be maybe sitting on your desktop. 10 years, 15 years down the line, we had no technical staff, no training staff, an extensive amount of professional training. Only type specific training will be given. Say, like, if you are a master, your job will be to take care of the maneuvering. Then there will be a technical team, communication team, that way, just like in army or navy. So that kind of training, extensive training and type specific training will be
Yeah.
introduced. And basis that, you will of course have this thing like you have in any other
Yeah.
industry. So I think the hierarchy will change
Yeah.
if that happens.
All right, so I have run out of all my questions. Now, final verdict in one line we will take from Karan and Captain Sins. So, being a junior officer and a third officer, will give that opportunity to Karan first. In one line, tell us, autonomous ships, are they taking away our job?
In my living time, definitely I can say it won't take away my job, is what I can say.
Amazing, Karan, amazing. Short and simple. Captain Sins, I know it will be difficult for you to reply short and simple, but please, one line, your final verdict on unmanned ships.
I think I'll be watching Captain Karanveer handling the automation ship as I sip my martini on a Goa beach.
Amazing,
Oh,
amazing. Yeah.
amazing.
So we got our answers. Really appreciate the time taken by Captain Sins and Karan to join me on my live, and we were not even sure that it will work out or not, but so far it has worked out well. Obviously, we can improve the video and audio quality a bit more in future lives, so we'll try that. And hashtag KTS. Remember, guys, we are all together in this skill sets. We all three have different skill sets, and we have joined together and sharing, and we are gonna come up with amazing content for sure. With that, I thank you all, and I will play my end, and we will end the live as well.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Captain Sunil.
Thank you.